Hey foodies, it's Marisha and I have another amazing braised brisket recipe for you all. So this one is going to use a pressure cooker. Alright, now here is my brisket. It is usually the O'Reilly brand. It comes like this. If you've never seen brisket before, it has a thick layer of fat, which you don't have to get rid of. And it also comes with a packet of pickling spices. My pressure cooker is set to a searing or browning setting. So it's getting very, very hot. I put my brisket in fat side down. I left it alone for about 6 minutes. And when I turn it over, I have a gorgeous, gorgeous sear. And that's exactly what I want. That is the first step to braising. Okay, so now I'm going to add in some onion that I diced up. Just regular white onion. You can use Spanish onion. And then my pickling spices as well. You really don't have to add anything else as far as spices to this because there is so much flavor in brisket naturally. You'll be good, trust me. Okay, so now I'm going to add in about a cup of water. You can also use stock if you would like, beef stock. And then I'm going to close up my pressure cooker. I'm going to use the beef setting, which I believe is set to about 35 minutes on my pressure cooker. Once that is done, I'm taking off the lid and you can see the juices have just about doubled. And of course my brisket shrunk just a little bit, which is to be expected, but look at that gorgeous color in that juice. That is going to make an amazing sauce. So you can see after that 35 minutes, you guys, I already have a really tender brisket. There's already a lot of flavor in there. I love how the onions look. They have not broken down. They are still intact. It was tempting me already. I was almost willing to just slice it up and eat it like that. But we're not done. No, okay? So I have diced up some Idaho potatoes as well as some fresh garlic cloves. And I'm going to add that to my liquid. So you no longer have to add any liquid, okay? This is straight flavor that we are cooking our potatoes in right now. Straight flavor. Now, just to cover all of the basics, I have washed my potatoes very well. I like to use a vegetable brush to scrub them under some running water. You can also use a steel wool. I've done that as well. That is specifically just for vegetables like carrots and such. You don't want to like go from your dishes to your vegetables with a steel wool. Not the kind that comes with the soap either. Not a Brillo pad. It's different, okay? It's up to you if you want to leave the skin on or take the skin off. I love it with the skin on. At this point, I'm going to put my lid back on for 20 minutes. And when that 20 minutes is up, we're going to remove the lid. And yes, it's going to look better every time. The juice is a little bit thicker. It is richer in color, which means that it has a lot more flavor than it did when we opened it up the first time. Those potatoes have taken on this gorgeous golden hue. From that brisket, you know that they taste good and they're super tender. They're perfect. They're not falling apart. At this point, I want to remove my brisket and the potatoes because I don't want my potatoes to break apart. I would be so sad. I'd be like, well, what am I doing? I would just make mashed potatoes at that point. So we're going to remove the potatoes so that we can continue to reduce the liquid down to make a really good sauce. I know. This is really like perfect for those, I mean, besides St. Patty's Day, of course. Perfect for those rainy days, perfect for winter. This is a serious comfort food. I hope that you guys don't think of brisket just as something that you have for St. Patty's Day. It is a really good cut of meat, okay? People want to charge an arm and a leg for some brisket. So if you can just make it at home yourself, you guys, you'll have one of the best meals ever. Especially if you do it like this. Now at this point, yes, we basically have a brisket stew, if you will. You can even add your cabbage to that leftover juice if you would like, and then continue to reduce it. Now that's on you. What I am going to do is reduce that liquid down, and I want to now brown my brisket. Now obviously I can't really brown the meat of the brisket and get that flavor that I want on the actual meat unless I remove some of that fat. I may have lost some of you because I know a lot of people like to leave that fat on there, but let me tell you, when it comes to flavor, it's about the layers, babe. It's about the layers, and we need to create layers of flavor. I mean, all I'm gonna do personally is put the fat to the side anyway. So once I have my brisket trimmed to my liking, and this is it, up close and personal, take a gander, it's gorgeous. I'm going to put it back into my pot. You can see that liquid has reduced completely. We are probably down to maybe 3/4 of a cup to a half cup of liquid overall. That is the perfect stage right there to add your brisket. So I'm going to coat my brisket in this gorgeous sauce, and at this point, once again, my setting is on the sear setting, which is the highest setting that my pressure cooker has. Now you can serve it just like that, or you can let it get a little bit of browning on it. Now if you're only having potatoes and brisket, stop right there. Make sure that you have a nice pan sauce. Eat it just like that. I, on the other hand, have cabbage, okay? So I took my sauce down to its final stages. You can see it is really just fat and flavor left behind. I'm going to now put my sliced cabbage into the pot. Cabbage releases a lot of water, but we are still going to add about a cup of water so that we can bring up all of the flavor, the meat, everything that is stuck to the bottom of that pot. It is going to season the cabbage. It's like life in a pot in a way. We're just rejuvenating, recreating, and then keeping it going. Now to keep my brisket and potatoes hot while my cabbage cooked, I have it in this really nice pan. It's by Temptations, and it has a lid that comes with it. It is really, really good for keeping food hot. About 15 minutes later, I have this gorgeous cabbage. And let me tell you, I did not need to add any seasoning. I didn't need to add salt. I didn't need to add anything but the cabbage and water to the pot, and I got this amazing robust flavor. I even have bits of meat in there. Does it get any better than that? I don't think so. My meat has been resting. All of the juices are settled within the beef. I'm totally using the wrong knife, so this is an awkward cut, but I am cutting against the grain and getting some nice, thick, beautiful slices. This was so good. And what is crazy is that the potatoes are just as good as the brisket. You guys, it's perfectly cooked. It's fork tender, so flavorful, so hearty, and I've got some of the best potatoes and cabbage to accompany it, and I only used one pot. I love pressure cooking, okay? I love it. Definitely let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, foodies.